Hello children, welcome back. So shall we go about poem number 7, The Duck and the Kangaroo. So before we get into the poem, as already have come across two characters, one is duck and another one is kangaroo. Just let's have an interaction. Usually whenever you see one of your friends buying any of the new things, do you also feel that why don't you also possess the same kind? It can be a pencil box, or it can be a new bicycle, or it can be any of the other gadgets, electronic gadgets or something. Of course, before you do that, what would you like to do that? You would like to lend it for some while to see how does it work. If it is a bicycle, you would like to go on a ride, or else you would like to request one of your friends to take you on a ride at least to see how does it go. These days, gearless bicycles like children are very fond of, isn't it? So whenever you see something new which you do not possess, it's a human tendency, you feel like trying the same thing. Then you will decide whether to go for it or not. Isn't it? Am I right? So the same thing happens even in this poem also, where you see a humorous thing, like a humorous conversation between a duck and also a kangaroo. So duck, usually you will all find around you also, wherever you see the dirty water filled, or else there is a pond near you, you will definitely see the ducks here and there. They keep on quacking, isn't it? And they will have the padded feet, padded in the sense like very broad feet. And kangaroos are found to be seen in Australia, as you all know it. And what is the special feature of kangaroos, children? They hop. The movement of kangaroo is called, hopping. They hop because their feet are not of same height. You might have observed that. And also another special feature is they have a back frontward to hold their babies in it. Am I right? So they look so funny, and their movement also looks so funny, and sometimes we get amazement also by looking at them. So now we shall come across a poem which is called as a nonsense verse. Written by Edward Lear. And he is very popular and he is very famous to write this kind of poetry, which is called nonsense verse. Nonsense verse is nothing but, children, usually you see the rhyming words and rhythm in the poem written by Edward. And where you also see humorous, elements are added, whereas you feel that it is more or less like a song. So there are three things I'm telling you about nonsense verse. One, you will see the rhythm and rhyme also in it. And second one is you will see humorous elements here and there. And the third one is you will feel that as if it is a song. Am I right? Because whenever you see the young children in nursery classes and all, no, they keep on reciting the rhyme. Recitation is nothing but singing, isn't it, children? So the same thing you will see here. And especially Edward Lear is very, very popular to write this kind of poetry, which is called nonsense verse. And all of you must remember this, because there may be a question tomorrow you will see in your examination that what is the speciality of this poem? Because when I was teaching you something before, I introduced a ballad also, where you will come across the story. I am right, children. Similarly here, this is called nonsense verse. So today's topic is The Duck and the Kangaroo, written by Edward Lear. And I am going to show you even the poetic devices also, children. So just take them down in your running notes. Then once I start reading the poem and once I start giving you the explanation, then and there I'll cover all the poetic devices also. So please take care of the poetic devices. First one is the alliteration, then refrain. You can just jumble the sequence, there is no problem. Though I just mentioned them in number 1, 2, 3, 4. However, the way you want them to be taken down, you can just take down. So refrain, alliteration, imagery. Are you able to get it? So the same way, you just please go ahead, and I think one more also is there. That's inversion. So altogether there are 4 poetic devices. So please take them down. And already I have mentioned the kind of the poem as what, children? It is nonsense verse. Could you all take it down? Yes, done. So now quickly we shall move about the poem. So please open your textbooks and carry on writing and taking down the teaching notes also. So this is a humorous poem of a kind known as nonsense verse, as I have already told you, and I have given you even the 3 features of nonsense verse also. Rhyme and rhythm, humor, and then sound. All these 3 you just remember the same way, then you can expand. Page number 94, children. Yes. So you can even see the picture also. There is a kangaroo just sitting and listening to the duck which is in the dirty pond. Said the duck to the kangaroo, "Good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you never would stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you," said the duck to the kangaroo. So now I want you all to observe the first and last line of this particular stanza. How the way it is starting and how the way it is ending in the stanza. First stanza, first line, please look at it. Said the duck to the kangaroo, and last also said the duck to the kangaroo. So this kind of method of repetition of a word or a phrase also in each one of the stanzas, when you come to see, this kind of device is called refrain, as I have already mentioned in the poetic devices. Am I right, children? So if at all tomorrow you see in extract based questions, they give you this particular stanza and they ask you that what is the poetic device used here. So you can immediately answer saying that yes, this is nothing but refrain. So refrain is nothing but where you see it can be a word or a phrase or a sentence which is repeated in the stanzas. So here you see, said the duck to the kangaroo, said the duck to the kangaroo. So the first poetic device which we have come across is refrain. And here you see, good gracious how you hop. So see children, whenever I start any of my modules, any of my sessions also, though it is I talking to you all, am I greeting you all not? Every time I shall definitely greet you. That is the minimum courtesy, right children? So the same way, when the duck has started like talking to the kangaroo, it started with initial greeting. So hi, hello, how are you, good morning, good afternoon, like we all wish each other, greet each other, right? Similarly here, the duck is greeting the kangaroo saying good gracious, because in duck's point of view, you know, it feels that kangaroo looks so beautiful, very gracious, gorgeous we call the beauty, right? Similarly, it is calling. Then automatically, why don't you like just try to visualize children? So when the duck is praising the kangaroo, calling it as so gracious, then of course automatically even kangaroo feels happy. Yes or no? So let's see how you hop. So it is reasoning out, why is duck thinking that kangaroo is so gracious? Because the way it hops is something which looks so gracious and wonderful and beautiful for the duck. Over the fields and the water too. So how does it hop and where does it go hopping? It does go over the fields, like wherever there are fields, crops, and also over the water also, because it can jump so long by hopping. So it is telling the duck, why is it so like admiring the kangaroo is depending on the way it hops. And it says that I really admire you and you're hopping the way you hop across the fields and also the water, as if you never would stop. Whenever I watch you and you're hopping, I sometimes feel that as if you will never stop. You keep on hopping. My life is a bore. So see the comparison. Till here in the 4 lines, you know, it went on praising the kangaroo and its hopping nature. Then now duck is speaking about itself that my life is a bore. So my life is boring life, you know, because in this nasty pond, always I live only in the nasty pond. Here contextually nasty means dirty and limited place. Here we will need to understand nasty is dirty here. So it says that my life is so dull, you know, because I will need to only live here, which is very dirty and limited, whereas I cannot go beyond this. And I long to go out in the world beyond. Long here, it does mean that I want to go, I wish to go. It is my desire. So want, wish and desire. So now the duck is saying that I really don't want to just be here in this dirty pond always. But I really wish to move out. Whereas whereas I just go out beyond the world. So I just would like to move around the world. I would like to just go to all the places of the world. I wish I could hop like you, but would it be possible? Because I can't hop like you. So I wish if I could hop like you. So it is my wish, if at all God blesses me with the same quality of what you have of hopping, even I would also definitely hop like you and visit all the places. I wish if I could, but I can't do it because I don't have that hopping nature, because I am only an ordinary duck. Said the duck to the kangaroo. So in the whole of this first stanza, you will see duck starting the conversation, initiating the conversation by greeting and by immediately praising the beauty of the kangaroo, telling that why is it so admiring and it is so influenced by its hopping. And then comes and followed by its desire of moving around the world, whereas it says its helplessness also. Duck expresses its helplessness. I wish I could, but I can't do it because I am only an ordinary duck. So now let's please see the continuation in the second part. Please give me a ride on your back. So now it is requesting, the duck is requesting kangaroo, please give me a ride on your back. I have an idea. As you are one of my best friends, please, why don't you just take me on your back and take me away, take me out of my pond. Said the duck to the kangaroo, I would sit quite still. See children, whenever you are expecting somebody to extend their support or do a favor to you, of course to let them accept for that, you will need to give them some assurance. I believe I'm reaching you. For example, if you want to one of your friends to lend their any valuable to you, and then before you take it, before you borrow it, you would definitely assure that, hey, please don't worry, the way you give me, I shall definitely give it back the same way. I shall take very good care of it, don't worry. Because that sort of assurance is very much needed whenever you are seeking help from somebody. So see the clever duck. That's nothing but it is the simple manners, courtesy. So duck is saying that please take me on your back and I will not disturb you when you take me. I will just sit quietly. Please take me on your back. And say nothing but quacking, because I only quack the whole of the long day through. So just take me on your back the whole day long. I want to just go on long way sitting on your back. I won't disturb you. And we would go to the D. So it is mentioning, just see the desires of the young duck here. So it is mentioning different places which it would like to visit. So the first place is D. D is nothing but it's a river in England. So please write it down, children. D, it's a place it's nothing but a river in England named D. So first place which duck would like to visit sitting on the kangaroo is D, that is a river in England. Then the Jelly-Bolly. So it says that next one is Jelly-Bolly. It's nothing but a place in West Africa, if I am not very wrong. That must be correct. So Jelly-Bolly is another place, West Africa. So see, there is no connection at all. England is somewhere and West Africa is somewhere. Because it mentioned very clearly in the very first stanza itself that its desire is to move around the world. So my dear kangaroo, please take me on your back. I will sit still. I will not move here and there, but I shall only quack to give you company. And take me to D, that is the river in England, and also Jelly-Bolly, that is another place in West Africa. Over the land and over the sea. So take me to the land and also over the sea. Please take me a ride. Oh, do. Do is nothing but children, usually we call our friends dude, buddy and all, no? Similarly here, oh dude, this is like dude, oh my friend. So please take me a ride. So now it is requesting, it is pleading, because it's my dear, if you won't help me, nobody else could help me out. So you are the only source to help me. So please take me along. Let me sit on your back and take me. So please take me a ride. Said the duck to the kangaroo. So who said these words? It's duck to the kangaroo. So continuation, children. Again, that's what refrain, the poetic device we have come across, right? Then Said the kangaroo to the duck again. Now you will see kangaroo answering to the duck. Now kangaroo is speaking to the duck. This requires some little reflection. As soon as duck asked kangaroo, it immediately could not accept. And it started saying that, I heard you, but maybe I need to think about it before I make my decision. I need to think about it. Reflection, the word, it used it here. That's nothing but thinking. So it requires my thinking to just to decide whether I can take you on my back or not. Perhaps, on the whole, it might bring me luck. Perhaps. So it says that maybe if I take you, it may bring luck also for me. So either ways, it is talking. So before I take you and before I accept whatever the request you are asking me to take you on my back to the place Jelly-Boli or wherever across the land and across the sea, I just need to think. And maybe it can bring me luck even. And there seems but one objection. But I have an objection. So please don't mind, I have an objection. Which is, if you will let me speak so bold. So see the way children, like many of us, being the human beings, sometimes being angry or being having the hatred towards somebody or being in a hurry, sometimes we really lose our tongue. And we won't be following the basic manners of speaking politely to somebody. But here you see, reluctantly it is immediately not saying no at all to duck. It says that if you please allow me, I have an objection. Shall I? So it is seeking permission. Kangaroo is seeking permission from the duck, saying that if you please allow me, I just would like to speak to you something bold. In the sense, the fact, the truth I would like to tell you about. Because your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold. So the first problem what it said was, your feet are very wet and cold. Because always the duck seems to be only in the dirty water, we have already learned, and that is a fact. So you are feet they are wet and cold and would probably give me the rheumatism, said the kangaroo. So as your feet are cold and very cold, and also wet also, so they may cause me, if at all I allow you to sit on my back, they may cause me the rheumatism. Rheumatism is nothing but rheumatic pains. Rheumatic pains are nothing but the joint pains, usually you call it as like an elbow and knee part and even your wrist part. Wherever you have the joints, joint pains. So it says that kangaroo is saying to the duck sense, saying that if at all I accept your request, I may need to make you sit on my back, and as you are asking me to take a long way to go, then it may cause me the rheumatic pains, joint pains, because your feet are wet and cold. So now, in the next session, we shall see whether the kangaroo has taken the duck for the long trip or not. So I believe all of you might have understood, children, and let us see about the poetic devices also, wherever they are used, and to next session we may complete. So let's quickly go with the recap, children. There are two characters, duck and kangaroo, and first stanza, duck is just requesting the kangaroo, saying its helplessness and also expressing its desire to go on the world tour. And second one, it is seeking directly its help, saying that why can't you please take me on your back, and assuring that it would sit silently, still, but only quacking. It does too. Then kangaroo also, we will all need to learn a lot from the way kangaroo responds here, children, very polite responses, it does give here. So that's all for today. So let's meet in the next session, and we shall conclude the poem, Duck and the Kangaroo. So goodbye, children. Let's meet in the next session. Vijaya signing off.